joined as always by Foley. How are we this week, mate?
Tired. And emotional. Tired and emotional. More emotional than tired.
It's not a good combo.
Not, mate. It's not. When you go 5 out of 6 in your leagues. Oh, sorry, 1 out of 6 in your leagues. So you lose 5. See how tired I am?
It's not ideal, mate, is it? It's not the best week.
No, nothing to do with the election and staying up late and worrying about that. It's more about the fact I lost
your fantasy performance.
Yeah.
Understandable, mate. You gotta get your priorities right, haven't you?
Yeah.
I had a better week. I was of my 9 leagues on Sleeper. I won 8 of them.
Ooh,
so
hello.
That's my best week of the year, I think, so far. So,
yeah.
But yes. So was your one win in Warrior Bowl by chance?
It was.
It was.
Difference. It really was. Yay!
Good.
I genuinely thought if I'm going to win any league, I'm going to win one league out of all the leagues I've got. I'll actually want to win in Warrior Bowl, genuinely. And I did. But, I was thinking about it before, that meme of Thanos when he gets the Soul Stone and he sees little girl Gamora. You're going to go
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, but...
Are you not a Marvel man?
No.
Oh, gee. So she says to him, did you do it? Did you get what you need? And I say, yes, I got my win. And then she says, what did it cost? And I'll say, George Kittle.
Got you. Because yes, that'll resonate with everybody there.
It really will, except for you. Watch a Marvel.
Well, yeah, clearly, straight over my head, mate. Sorry about that. But yeah, because you traded, didn't you? Not so long ago. You traded. Remind us what the trade was. It was a big trade.
Oh, what was it? Kamara and Tonyan for Kittle, Gibson, and who was it? Justin Jackson, maybe? No.
I don't know. Maybe.
But
yeah, the general gist of it was Kamara and Tonyan you gave away to get Kittle and Gibson and one other.
Kittle, Gibson, and one other. Yeah, there was a decent piece actually. It might have been Jackson.
Which you were quite happy with last week.
Yeah, I was.
I recall.
If Kittle wasn't dead, I'd be delighted with it rest of the season.
And this week?
Yeah, not so much. No, sad.
Yeah.
I think that's genuinely my chances of actually doing really well with it gone, really, because he's the equivalent of Kamara, isn't he? He was that good at his position. And then if to make you even happier, I then turned Antonio Gibson into Jonathan Taylor. That's not gone so well either. So,
was that before last week or since?
That was before last week. So I played Jonathan Taylor last week. So I still won, just. So, yeah. I think I'm going to give up on trading. It just doesn't seem to work out for me. I traded for Michael Thomas in a Dynasty League, in our Dungeon League, and he hasn't seen the field.
No, that's not worked out for you that well either, has it, really?
No, I think I'm going to give up on trading. I really like trading, but I just seem to be crap at it.
But yeah, you did. But you still managed to get the win.
I did.
Still managed to get the win this week. So what does that put you on now? What's your record?
6-2. Now the problem is, I'm in a league, the Gladiator division, the greatest division in the competition. I've got 2 chaps on 7-1. Kev 007. Obviously James Bond. You can't really argue with that. And Tin Man, who's been right up at the top of the point scoring since week 1. So I've got 2 legends above me. But 6-2, I'm happy with 6-2, considering I hated my draft right at the very start and have just traded my way into a terrible team. So I still got a chance at making the playoffs. If I knew how they work, I'd be confident.
Always helpful. Well, yeah, exactly. That's it. You've still got a chance at 6-2. Well, you've got a very good chance of fairness at 6-2. Less so without Kittle.
Yeah. I've got African fantasy football this week, and he is the man who traded Kamara or took Kamara from me. So this is a revenge game. I know this might not necessarily be the most important thing to you, but to Alvin Kamara, he fucking knows, man. He knows he's coming for me.
This is so he's laughing, having offloaded Kittle and got himself Kamara.
And he's playing Tonyan against me as well. And he's going to go absolutely nuts tonight, isn't he now?
I hope so. I've got him in a couple of places. But yes. So for me, let's find mine. So I eked out a win with a terrible score. So I was playing against Angry Her of the Angry Sports Couple.
Oh yeah.
So and we both, in fairness, put up terrible scores.
What was it?
So what was 117 versus 99?
117.
It was just an ugly game
My
that I
God.
just about managed to squeak out a victory on.
Oh God.
And I even managed to get that across the line with, I had Chris Carson still in my lineup who didn't play because I had, I can't remember who it was now. I left Carson in and I hoped he would be active. Tried to switch him out about half an hour before the game started. Didn't realise that I'd got a guy on the COVID list on my IR who had come off of the COVID list, so was now no longer eligible. So it didn't save my lineup change. So I ended up riding with Chris Carson in my lineup.
How did you win with Aguilar and Carson and Cam Newton?
Well, it's a very good question.
Sweet Jesus.
But she had Ruggs got less than 3, Lamar Jackson only got 13, Jefferson got 5.
She was unlucky there. She's hugely unlucky. Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, Landry would have thought with Beck's out. Hasty would have thought I'd have a bigger game. You should give her that win. That's rude. That's just rude.
Exactly. Yes,
it was so much better than yours.
Yep.
Oh God. Well.
But yes, that was it. So that was my first win since week 3.
Well done.
Thank you.
Hope you choke on it.
So I'm back to 3 and 5. This week, going up against JK 1973. He's 5 and 3, so he's ahead of me.
You need to win that. You need to win that one.
I do. I think, to be fair, there's 2 teams at the top of my division that are 6 and 2. And one is Sandman Sims, and one is Boma Big Time of the legendary hot box sauce.
Oh yeah.
I think realistically, the chances of me catching either of them on record is slim. So I think I'm just going to have to try and just almost ignore record and just try and score as many points as I can and get in on a point scored basis, because I'm not a million miles behind them on points scored. So that's my plan.
That sounds like how the playoffs work, I've heard.
A little bit like that. Do you need me to run through that for you once again?
I've had thousands of messages asking from people asking, could you run through that? So not for me, but for people.
Of course. Absolutely. So yes, one more time, just for not you. So
I can run you
championship. I mean, if you want to.
No, you do it.
No. Okay. So so the championship playoffs. So there's 2 guaranteed from each division. There is the team with the best record and the team with the highest points. So 2 guaranteed minimum from each division. And then there's another 20 that get taken across the conference. So the 10 teams with the best record from any division and the 10 teams with the highest points from any division. So yeah, at least 2 from each division, but in theory it could be more than that.
Right. I think I've got a good chance there, you know.
So yeah, so you've got, if you're going to be, even if you don't score really, get a really good record, if you're scoring good points, you've still got a chance. I think that's what I'm going to have to aim for. I think I'm just going to have to go boom or bust players for the rest of the season and trying to score as many points as I can, even if I lose.
Sounds good.
Try and get in that way, but we shall see. But then there's also the playoffs for each division. So each division will have its own playoffs as well, and that will be 4 from each division go into that. So again, 3 best teams based on record, and then the highest scoring team as well. So yeah, that's how the playoffs work. So what we can't do this week is unfortunately go through the leaderboard and who's in the playoff spots like we did last week, because we've had a little bit of a technical issue and we haven't got all the data. Technical difficulties, exactly. Apparently it can prove very challenging to count up various numbers of things. It takes a lot longer than you might imagine. So unfortunately this week we haven't got those numbers all counted up in time. But so no leaderboard this week, unfortunately. But I do know that we now have 5 undefeated teams.
Ooh.
So previously we had 6, now we only have 5. So those are Grower from the William Wallace division, Cooper's dad from the Predator division, Pac Tamers NFL from Joan of Arc, Lucky Fantasy Guy, Martin from Boudica division, and Giants UK from Trojan division.
The usual suspects.
Usual suspects. So yeah, we had 6 last week. We had we lost one. KK Summers lost last week, so he dropped out of the undefeated group. So now we only have 5, and there's still 2 people left without a win. Same 2 as last week. So, and actually, having looked at their divisions, they're not the lowest scorers in their division. They're about 3 or 4 teams that have scored less points than them in their divisions.
Is it Pete? Is Pete one of them?
No, he won the other week, unfortunately. So he's off the mark. But so my question to you then,
go on.
Given that we're in the UK and we have a tendency to want to A, root for the underdog, and B, build people up and then knock them down horribly, have we reached the point of the season where those 5 undefeated teams, we're now basically rooting for them to lose? Or do we still want them to win? Yeah. Are we now rooting for them to lose, or do we still want to see them go undefeated?
You evil bastard! Oh, I thought you meant the people who are on 0 wins.
No, not the 0 wins. We definitely want them to win.
Because that would be horrible.
That would be horrible. Yeah, I'm not that horrible. Jesus. I mean, the guys that are undefeated
to continue to do really badly and be miserable and hate themselves. Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? Yeah. So, do we want the undefeated teams to remain undefeated?
Yeah.
No. Want them to lose and drop out of the playoffs and be miserable because we're Brits. God damn it.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. It's not just me.
Just thought you'd double check.
Yeah, just thought I'd double check.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we want them to lose badly.
Yes. Good. Glad we're all in agreement.
We can't let other people be happy, can we? Come on.
Absolutely not. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, exactly. It's fantasy football, damn it.
So, as I say, we don't have the leaderboard, so we can't look at that. Martin says, "Wow," as one of the undefeateds. He probably doesn't appreciate our ill wishes aimed at him. It's nothing personal, Martin.
Come and join our misery.
It's just we don't like seeing you do well, or anybody do well, not just you.
I think that's except for the people who benefit from the charity money. Everyone else, terrible.
Exactly. So we'll jump onto waivers. So there wasn't huge waiver activity this week, and again, we've only pulled the ones that went over $50. So there's only 2 people that went over $50 this week, and it's probably not a huge surprise.
Wasn't a big week for waivers, was it at all?
No, exactly. It's probably not a huge surprise that it was the 2 quarterbacks that went. So Mullins, Jake Luton. And Mullins, who actually he did all right when he came in.
He did all right when he came in last year, or the year before, was it? At the end of the year when Jimmy G went down, he looked all right, didn't he? But he didn't do all right when he came in a couple of weeks ago, did he? Because Bethard had to replace him, and then he went backwards and forwards between Mullins and Bethard. So I don't know how much faith I'd have in Mullins actually. If he, I don't know if he is the QB that they had when Jimmy G originally went down, then he's probably worth picking up, and he's probably going to be a spot start for you. I think I think the worry there is that his weapons have gone from not that many to absolutely bloody 0 tonight. It's pretty much you and me playing wide receiver, isn't it, by the sounds of it? So, yeah, I'm not too sure on him. It looks like it's going to be him or Bethard for the rest of the season. The worst case scenario is that it's both, and they're just interchangeable depending on how bad they both do. Jake Luton is a complete unknown, isn't he? But so was Minshew at the time. So, I don't know. That's a proper wild card, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit. I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of the whole Minshew situation.
He's not
because that's the thing. He's not the reason that they've lost. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's no Patrick Mahomes, but he's not the reason that they are losing games. No. It smacks to me of the act of a desperate coach trying to save his job and just thinking, well, let's just hope. Let's make a change and hope something.
He's rolling the dice, rolling the dice, and hoping that it comes up good for him. Yeah, that's all that is. I hope that, well, for Jake Luton's sake, and the fact that he's on a taxi squad in one of the Dynasty Leagues, I hope he does really well. Come on, Jake. Come on, Jake. Is he really tall? Did I make that up?
I don't know.
Am I making
You
that
might
up?
have done.
Let me check my squad. I'm sure he's really tall.
I mean, tall by our standards.
6'6". He's tall.
Pretty tall.
Yeah, Oregon State. 24.
What's your verdict on that then? If he's pretty tall, does that mean he's going to be good, bad?
I think it means he's going to be good because he can see over the heads of other people.
Good. That's the sort of meaningful, deep analysis.
You want analysis? You come see me when it comes to quarterbacking.
I think he'll be good because he's tall and he can see over the people. I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
You don't have to do any of them sidearm passes and underarm passes that Mahomes does. Then you can literally just throw the ball.
Oh, just imagine if Mahomes was just a couple of inches taller and he didn't have to do all of that. How much better he'd be.
Can you imagine if Lamar was like 6'7" but could still run the way he runs? I'd just run away.
There you go. Cracked it. So, trades. So we had quite a few trades this week, not as many as we've had in previous weeks, but worth noting, this week is the last week that you can make trades. There's a week 9 trade deadline in Warrior Bowl. So if you're planning on shaking things up to try and get back in to either extend your lead or get back in the hunt, now's the week to do it. So we've had a few trades here. So 3 of these, the Devin Singletary one, the James Robinson one, and the Jarvis Landry one all came from the Predator division, one after the other yesterday.
Look at that! Look at that huge one in the middle. Wow. Wayne Gorman. $20.
I assume by that you're referring to your own trade that's on there.
No, mine's not on there. I'm talking about the Wayne Gorman for $20.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yes, that was in your division, wasn't it? So yeah, Wayne Gorman for $20 fab was the blockbuster trade of the week.
Big time.
But yeah, any on there that you like the look of, that you don't like the look of?
They're all fairly well balanced, I think, aren't they? I don't see anything. They're all pretty well balanced. I'd be happy enough arguing for both sides and most of them, really. That's a really good indication that you've got some good people who are really, really trying to win the league, because they're both taking chances with fairly balanced trades, hoping that one of them pays off big time and they just get the best of it. But I think both of them both sides of all of them are worth it, except for the Wayne Gorman $20. I genuinely wouldn't open both of my eyes for that. I might open one to say no, I can't be asked.
But it's still balanced in that you don't want either side.
No, I mean the James Robinson AJ Green trade, actually, given the struggles of Kenyon Drake and the fact he might still be out for a couple of weeks, and James Robinson is he RB4, RB5 in PPR so far this season? Average points per game.
Something like that.
He looks, for all intents and purposes, like he's going to stay there, especially with the new QB coming in. They're going to have to run the ball even more, you'd imagine. That might actually be more one-sided than it originally looks, but who's to say, really, I suppose, because Drake could come back and walk straight back into that role with Edmonds going back to his complementary role, couldn't he? And Corey Davis is looking again after last week like he's going to be a big part of that offense. So, yeah, I don't see anything out of the ordinary with any of them. If only Jonathan Taylor would stop being terrible, that would make me happy. Jonathan, don't make me look at you.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, interestingly, there's quite a few of these trades that were done by teams that were towards the bottom of their divisions and obviously trying to do something to compete, to stay in the competition and rectify their teams and sort of improve their situation. And there's quite a few big name players that have been traded this week. Devontae Adams, James Robinson as well, Justin Jefferson. So yes, there's some big name guys that have been moved around this week, and people trying to improve their positions and get themselves further up the division and in the playoff hunt. So
Juju
good to see.
Juju could be a sneaky little one there. I mean, Jarvis, you'd think he's going to be really good rest of the season. He's going to get a lot more targets, but Juju one could be sneaky good. But
yeah, it could be. I think that's it. He's done better the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that one plays out. But so moving on. So something a little bit different that we did last week, but we'll talk about a little bit this week. So may have seen on Twitter that we did a mid-season charity guillotine league last week. So just to raise a little bit more money for charity. Actually, the guillotine league and the money that we raised from that helped us get across our target. So the target was for the year was £9,600 that we wanted to raise for charity, and we've ended up about 9,850 off the back of the donations and things that we received from the Guillotine League. So thank you very much for everybody involved in the Guillotine League and everyone involved in Warrior Bowl as well, really, for helping us get to that. It's a huge number.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
Not me, mate. Not me. Everybody else. Everyone else that's donated, that's got involved, that's helped along the way. We really appreciate it. We couldn't have got to that figure without everybody's help. So massive thank you to everybody. Everybody that's involved.
Double next year, right? You guaranteed, didn't you?
You what, sorry, mate?
Double next year, you guaranteed, didn't you?
Not sure. I said that. I mean, we could say double and we just double the entry price.
There you go. That's
but you know,
you're a finance man, aren't you?
But yes, so yes,
and double the revenue. I like this. Yes.
But yes, so thank you very much for everybody for that. But yes, we did a guillotine league, which we streamed the draft last week, so you may or may not have seen it. You may or may not have seen a small clip taken from the draft that was put on there of somebody that I can't remember who off the top of my head, having an absolute meltdown halfway through the draft, being unable to find a player that they wanted, timing out and taking Saquon Barkley in the 13th round. So yes, not that individuals, whoever they were, can't remember, finest hour of drafting.
We have to say this every week and remind people, don't we, that we're not professionals. And if ever anybody needed evidence that was the case, I implore you to watch that back, and it proves that we are not professionals. Because you panicked and we all laughed.
Yeah, no rightly so. I mean, rightly so. You should laugh. You should laugh. It was shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think over the course of the last few months, we've kind of established I cannot drive the live stream and draft at the same time, because every time we've done it, I've drafted horribly. So yeah, and this was no exception. Not only the Saquon pick, but I ended up. I went into it with the plan that I'm just going to take. I'm not going to take anybody that is on a bye week in the first 2 weeks, or that's injured and questionable to miss some times. And I drafted loads of people in that situation. So yeah, I drafted DeAndre Hopkins. He was on a bye last week. Carson Wentz, he's on a bye this week. David Johnson was on a bye last week. Joe Mixon was out last week and is on a bye this week.
Saquon's out as well, isn't he?
Saquon, apparently, so I hear, he's not playing this week. No. Minshew was on a bye last week and now isn't playing. So Chenault was on a bye. Keelan Cole was on a bye. So yeah, I didn't do a very good job of drafting. And I don't know if you can see the teams on there. But yeah, it didn't go brilliantly. How was yours? How did you feel about it? Because neither of us have ever done a guillotine league before, have we? So we kind of just chucked ourselves in at the deep end and thought, this would be a good idea. Let's have a bash at this.
Yeah, there was a couple of people who'd done it, but most of the people, I think, were new to it as well, which was really good, actually. So it was most people just getting involved in a new format and having a bit of fun with it. I thought it was really good. Well, we'll see. I think the most fun, according to our friend Zalan, who loves a fruity league, like this is tame for him. He goes in for some weird stuff. But he said the fun really starts after the second week when you get a team full of stars all of a sudden steaming into the waiver and everybody can bid on them. That's when the fun really starts with stuff like this. Unfortunately, that might actually be my team, so I might not have that fun. If it's not me, it's going to be you, by the looks of it.
It's a good chance. There's a good chance. And that's it. So we started it, as I say, last week was the first week, and we had 2 weeks before the first elimination. Again, because it was charity, because we've done it mid-season, we didn't want anyone being in for 1 week and then out. Luckily for me. So we haven't had the first elimination yet. That will happen next week. So we'll see who that will be.
I've just realised I got the most points scored against me by about 30 points. Yeah, 30 points. scored against me more than anyone else. Isn't that fabulous?
But that doesn't matter.
Does it not?
No.
I should really pay more attention to these things.
The only thing that matters is how many points you've scored yourself in total across 2 weeks. So these are the scores after the first week.
Oh, really?
And as you will
I'm
see,
second.
my team is 40 points off the next team.
That is awful.
So that is, well, I mean, in fairness, I was projected to score 144 and came up with 85.
Let me just have a look at your team, because I'm going to need to know this for next week when we're putting our waivers in.
Well, I've got Zeke. He did next to nothing. Amari Cooper. He did next to nothing.
Yeah. Godwin, same.
Godwin didn't play.
Ridley.
DeAndre Hopkins didn't play. Ridley didn't do a great deal.
He went out.
So, yeah, it was not. My team looks better this week because a lot of those bye week guys are back in. But I've got a 40-point deficit to make up just to catch the next person.
I'm looking forward to bidding on your players. Just put it that way.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Considering you got double my score last week, the chances of you going out this week are slim. I
did really well. I just should pay attention to the format. I did really well. Well done, me.
Well done, you, mate. Well done, you.
Well done, me.
But you know what's going to be the worst thing about it when I go out first? I've still got to run the league, and I've still got to do the drops and sort out everything for the rest of the season. You guys look like you're having fun. This is great. But it's for charity, so you know what? Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Take one for the team.
Yeah.
And I've not written myself off yet. 40 points. We can make about 40 points in a week.
Hey, if anyone can.
Probably not me, but we'll see.
Yeah, given what we've seen, yeah, it's probably not me, but
you
never know.
You never know, mate. You never know. We'll see. We'll keep plugging away.
Yeah.
So that was the Guillotine League. We just thought we'd give you a bit of a look at that we did last week. And again, really, it's just another opportunity to laugh at my ineptitude.
I like the fact that Lucky Fantasy Guy's team is called Panic at the Saquon. That's perfect.
Yeah. I think mine was called Panic, Saquon, Panic. And I think we named them within about 30 seconds of each other. We changed the team names.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, anyway, moving on. Thursday night football.
Is it still on?
Well, apparently, at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a car crash.
It's guys off the street playing for 49ers, isn't it?
I was going to ask. We normally sort of ask your thoughts and your predictions on the game. I'm going to stick my neck out and say you're probably going to fancy the Packers.
I think I'm going to fancy the Packers. It's a shame, isn't it? Because, well, I think you're still probably going to get value out of Hasty or McKinnon. I've been listening to a bit today. I mean, I don't really have any shares of either. I don't think I've got either one of them anywhere, actually. So I don't have any skin in the game when it comes to those two running backs. But the Packers have been so bad against the run for the past, however many weeks. They've been terrible against the run in general, haven't they? So you've got to think that despite all this nonsense, despite the fact they're playing a straw man at wide receiver who's just going to stand there and get the ball thrown at his face, there's still probably going to be a bit of value in the running back room, isn't there? Because they're going to have to run the ball, and it's still Shanahan, so he could make me and you a good running back tandem, couldn't he? So I suppose it's just whether you want to put your money on McKinnon or Hasty to catch a few passes and maybe catch a screen pass touchdown or something. Because there's going to be some points there because Green Bay just can't stop the run. But yeah, I think the big avalanche of points are going to come from Adams, because why wouldn't you? He'll probably get 8 touchdowns and then leave after the second quarter.
Well, that Green Bay are the flip side, aren't they? They've got no running backs to speak of.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones might go. He's questionable.
Yeah.
Whether they feel that they need to risk him or whether they've been cautious with him so far, so they might continue down that route and not play him. I could do with him playing him. I've got quite a few shares of him, so I could do with him playing. But
you're not going to stay up, though, are you?
No.
I think they've just released the report now. Apparently Aaron Jones says he's good to play, but the medical staff will make a call. That's just
He said he's been saying that. He said that last week, though, didn't he? He said he was good to go and then didn't play.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Green Bay. So Green Bay have given are last in the league in terms of points given up to running backs. So yeah, I think there's value in Tonyan. Tonyan. I think there's value in McKinnon and there's value in Hasty. Both are going to get opportunities. Both have got pace and can be explosive and have got a chance that they might break away on a big play. McKinnon tends to get a bit more of the passing work, so he might be a better option again, given there's no wide receivers available. But yeah, I think there's some value to be had there. I think we've lost Foley there, so hopefully he'll be back in a second. But yeah, I think there's some value. I've got a few shares in McKinnon. I'll probably be playing McKinnon in a few leagues. Hasty, again, he looked explosive last week. So if he gets those opportunities, given Green Bay's defense, even if they are trying to load the box because there's no passing game, or we expect there to be no passing game, you would still fancy them to break something off at some point.
Hello.
Here he is. He's back. We lost you there. We lost you.
I didn't go to the toilet like I usually do. I genuinely just lost connection.
That's fine, mate. That's fine. We'll allow it.
Could have made a sandwich.
So it'd be all those fireworks interfering.
I could have made a sandwich. That's a missed opportunity.
For anyone watching that's not in the UK, tonight is bonfire night in the UK, which we were discussing earlier, which I assume is just a UK only thing.
Yeah.
Because it's very odd when you think about it. We're basically celebrating the fact that somebody tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Not so odd at the moment, though, is it?
Not so.
It's sounding more and more like a good idea, isn't it? That doesn't mean I'm going to do it. So,
well,
don't arrest me.
Steady. Putting things out like that on the internet, you get yourself in trouble.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
But yeah, I mean, basically, we have big bonfires and we let off a load of fireworks. So there's, and again, we normally a lot of people will go to big organised public displays, but as today we went back into a full national lockdown, all that's been cancelled. So everyone's doing it in their gardens. So lots of fireworks going off. So you may have heard some of those while we've been going along. But yeah, tonight I think from San Fran, the only people you really want are McKinnon or Hasty. You don't really want to be touching anybody else. Green Bay, again. Do you want to touch one of those running backs for Green Bay? Personally, probably not. It's not a good matchup against San Fran. Their defense is good.
Yeah, the run beat is still pretty decent.
So probably not where you want to go. Adams, you would assume, is going to get a mountain of targets. You would assume Tonyan as well. San Fran have struggled against Titans.
This is going to be MBS's breakout game, which will be the week where I don't play him in Warrior Bowl. I've had to start him for the last 2 or 3 weeks because I've had no other wide receivers. Now I've got the luxury of benching him. He's obviously going to turn around, slap me in the face, and score 2 TDs.
Well, is Lazard potentially back tonight as well?
I don't know, actually. Good question.
I saw something to say that he might be. I don't know whether we'll probably have to wait until see close to the time.
Let me check.
But I think that have you seen it was announced a couple of hours ago that actually, because half the wide receivers are out based on COVID, but the guy who tested positive, it was actually a false positive.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But they still can't play, which just seems
that does seem a bit odd, doesn't it?
Which just seems madness, but especially, and I guess fair enough if you want to keep him out, but you've got 2 or 3 other players that are out because they're high risk because they've been in close contact to him. But if he never had it in the first place, then they're not high risk, are they? They've not been close to anybody that's got it. So you would think they would say, all right, okay, fine, let them play.
Damn it, Greg, I'm not a doctor.
Well, no, sadly neither am I. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess, really, isn't it? They could have done with pushing the game back. But
I've got hardly anybody playing tonight, so genuinely,
Yeah, McKinnon is the only guy that I've got from San Fran of any number of shares. So, and I think he's, as we said, he's still got a good opportunity to do well. So, hopefully he'll do all right.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least, DFS. So,
oh yeah, I haven't seen your team. Let's have a look.
I will caveat my team
Wow.
but by saying this will look very different because I did this yesterday before Stafford got put on the COVID list.
Why
and
do you
I
love
went
the Lions so much anyway?
and I went 4 Lions players. I went for like a mega Lions stat because I thought, well, I've been terrible so far every week, so I may as well mix it up and try and do something different.
Yeah.
And we'll try and just go for a load of Lions players against Minnesota.
So
I went Stafford, Swift, Marvin Jones, and Hockenson for Detroit. And then I also got James Conner, Allen Robinson, Juju, Curtis Samuel, and the Chiefs. So, yeah, gone deep on the Lions. So if they do batter, if Stafford plays and they do batter Minnesota, then I could be laughing. If they bomb, then I'm screwed. But I've been terrible every week anyway, so I may as well roll the dice. But yeah, if Stafford doesn't play,
Stafford
then
can't
yeah,
play.
I'll probably have to.
If he's on the COVID list now, he can't. He doesn't have time. I don't think.
Apparently, he does.
Oh really?
Because his last contact with somebody was on Monday. So if he has 5 consecutive negative tests and has no symptoms, he can be cleared to play.
That would be so goddamn good because I have him in a few places.
Yeah, so I've got him in a couple of places as well, and he's because he's not tested positive. He's just been close to somebody. Apparently, that's the rule. If he has 5 consecutive tests and he doesn't have any symptoms, then he can be cleared. And the last contact he had with this person was Monday. So in theory, he's got enough time to be back and play.
Apparently, they'll have to arrange private travel for him. That might be the sticking point.
I mean, I imagine they could probably cover it.
Yeah, just get him a taxi.
Yeah, Uber.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my lineup. As I say, it's all or nothing really. It could go horribly, horribly wrong, but it could be all right, and it may look very different if Stafford's not playing.
Yeah, but keep an eye on that Sunday morning.
Yeah, there'll be a whole. There'll be all those lines will be gone, and we'll be looking at completely different lineup. But
6 o'clock, is it? 6 p.m. our time.
Yes, yeah, early games, yeah.
So at least you've got that, yeah.
So go on, what's give us your lineup?
Oh yeah, let's have a look. So you're banking on Samuel continuing to be involved, right? Because that was a big week for him last week, but he's done pretty much nothing before that. You thinking he's going to stick around and take some targets from DJ and Robbie?
But he's scored touchdowns the last couple of weeks, and the last 2 weeks he's scored rushing touchdowns.
Oh yeah, but CMC's back, isn't he, this week?
So yeah, if CMC's back, that probably changes things. But again,
stop giving us a first draft.
What?
Stop giving us a first draft. You can't just give us a draft.
I didn't mean that changes things for my team. I mean that changes things for the dynamic of their offense.
But again, you're panicking, aren't you? You're panicking because what's the score between me and you so far?
3-2.
3-2, baby. Panic.
Hardly panic territory, is it?
I can smell it. Panic all over.
Hardly panic territory.
Well,
but yeah, Samuel was cheap, and I thought he might get some work. You don't know how much they're going to give CMC when he comes back. They might not want to give him. Well, you can assume they're not going to give him the sort of load that he normally takes. So
maybe
you would imagine they're going to ease him to some extent, but we'll see. We'll see.
So the team that's going to make it 4-2, I've got the Big Ben and Juju stack. You like Juju for the same reasons I do, and that reason is Dallas. So assuming it's not just going to be a case of using Connor, like you've got to run through them for a couple of TDs and then everybody chill out for a bit. Hopefully Ben needs to throw for a couple of TDs, and Juju's been getting a bit more involved. Robinson against the Texans I quite like. Swift for the same reasons you said. Tyreek has been really consistent. He's not been the boom or bust person, has he? That we've been used to over the past couple of years. He's been very, very consistent, and he's still got the upside of a breakaway 90-yard touchdown. So I'm hoping for one of them. That'll take me right over the edge. Thielen, disappointing week last week. Actually, I've got him in worryable, but I think he bounces back this week. Similar to Johnny, actually, he's had a couple of down weeks, but I'm hoping he bounces back this week. Gorman, hopefully he leads the backfield. I might have a little change of that if Freeman's healthy. And the Texans against the 7th round rookie giant QB, as we now know.
He's very tall though, very tall.
He is very tall, but he's probably going to be all kinds of fun for JJ Watt. He's going to chop that guy down to size. He's going to be half the size he is when he gets off the field. Broken in half.
Yeah, I think because Johnny's struggled the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? And it's that
he's been out.
Corey Davis has really started. I mean, he's been up until this year. He's been a massive bust.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think I'd said to you earlier in the week, the most 2020 thing in my fantasy football is that I've started Corey Davis and Lamar Jackson in the league, and Corey Davis outscored Lamar Jackson.
Nice.
Which wouldn't have thought that in a million years at the start of the year, but that's the world that we're in at the minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, he seems to have taken a lot of that stuff that Jonnu Smith would potentially normally get. So it'll be interesting to see how that continues. Juju, I think he will continue to be more heavily involved in the offense. I think they're going to try and get him involved. And yeah, I think like you said, that matchup was the reason that I went with against Dallas. Was the reason I went with Connor, in that there's a good chance they're going to get up relatively early, and then he's going to carry.
And it's Benny Snell time. Yeah, I'll tell you what might be.
That helps nobody.
It might be a really deep upside option. Might be Anthony McFarland, because they've been getting him involved a little bit here and there in the passing game, haven't they? Just like a little bit this week and then not so much the next week. But if they really are that far ahead and don't want to risk an injury-prone player like Connor, they might actually give him a little bit of a run. I know Benny got a bit of work towards the beginning of the year, but McFarland's good. He's explosive. He can do a lot. So you never know. You can never really call the breakout game before it happens, can you? Or you can't and be confident about it. But I suppose if he's going to get any work, it might be this week.
Maybe.
Super deep play.
I don't think it's not something I'm going to be throwing in any of my lineups this week. That's a bit too deep for me. But
come next year, he's going to be worth something. I think. I don't have him in any dynasty leagues, and I should really. Maybe. We'll see. But on the DFS, I didn't mention beforehand. So last week, the winner was Jacob Dreyer. He was top. He's previously come second, so went one better this week. And runner-up was the boy. He's been runner-up a couple of times actually, so consistently in the money. You actually finished fifth. It is like there's a skill to it, which clearly we lack. Yeah.
You finished fifth. I think that was your best. Yeah, that was your best performance so far. I think, wasn't it?
It's all right. That's a top 5. I couldn't think of
it. It is.
I couldn't think of anything that you actually get for being fifth. Like, there's no fifth medal, is there? There's no European place. There you go. I'm in the Europa League.
Great.
No, it's not, is it?
That's what everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
And I was somewhere a bit lower than that. But yes, so none of those were anywhere near the overall highest score. That's still Dynamite D, 230 points that he scored the other week. Nice. So he is now the front runner in terms of the highest weekly score. He's in the pole position for the automatic invite to Warrior Bowl 2021.
Good man.
Next year. So that is us for today. I think that was a slightly shorter one than normal. Maybe not. We might have rambled on for quite a while, in fairness.
I have a question for you, Greg.
Of course, I don't doubt it for a second.
Just to make sure you're listening. How do you feel about clowns?
How do I feel about clowns? I'm largely indifferent about clowns, to be perfectly honest with you. I know some people really hate them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty indifferent.
Some people are utterly terrified by them, aren't they?
Yeah.
The nightmare, the horror. It's just Where you're completely indifferent.
Yeah.
So am
I. That's an exciting question, wasn't it? An exciting segment.
We need Kev on here to tell us that he's had like multiple years of therapy to get over his terror from watching Tim Curry play It back in the, actually, that's the only time I've ever been scared of clowns is watching it. But that's not because it's a clown; it's because he's horrible.
So I mean, that's a legitimate reason to be scared of a clown. In fairness,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. He's a demon in the clown form. He's not exactly a fucking clown, is he? And he's not very funny either. That I remember. Yeah, we need Kev on here to tell us that his like uncle is actually a clown, and he trained as a clown himself up until last month when he's let it go because he had to walk away from the clown life. He just couldn't handle it anymore. That's the kind of answer we get from Kev.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. Sorry to let you down, mate.
Yeah. All right. We'll ask Kev the same next week. You can have a good week to think about it.
Double question. Double question.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you
right.
for everyone that's joined us and watched this evening. I hope that was in some way entertaining. Good luck in Warrior Bowl this week.
Unless you're unbeaten.
Yes, unless you're unbeaten, in which case we hope you all lose.
Yeah.
Good luck to nobody in Guillotine League because I need all the luck that I can get. And we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.